Hello, here we are with a hands-on with the Sony Xperia SP. Now, I must stress that the device that we have here at the time of recording is a pre-production model, so what you see in this video may change come time of launch, but it should be a pretty close representation of the device, both physically in terms of its form factor and the software. So let's actually start by taking a look around the device itself. So on the front here, that we've got the 4.6-inch capacitive touchscreen with a resolution of 1280 by 720, and it's going to be using Sony's Mobile Brava Engine 2, and we've got Corning Gorilla Glass. So you've got some of the same technology that you see on the Sony Xperia Z that's been talked about a lot in the press at the moment because it's such a popular device. So up at the top you've actually got the Sony branding and the earpiece, and then you've also got a front-facing VGA video camera for those video calls. We've got a microphone down here, and then we've got this bar. Now this is an illuminated bar which we'll come on to in a moment, but it's reminiscent of the Sony Xperia U. On the side here we've got a micro USB port for charging connectivity to a computer. It also has MHL out, so you can connect this to an HD display, and it also has USB host functionality, so you can connect in memory sticks, hard drives. We've got a little bit of a design here with a screw on the side. You'll just see here, coming around to the back cover, recess to remove the back cover. On the bottom there's absolutely nothing. Then coming around to the other side we've got a dedicated camera button. Lovely feature to see, not enough phones have a dedicated button now. We've got this sort of screw design feature that we saw on the other side of the device. Then we've got this new omnibalance style button that we've seen on the Sony Xperia Z, now transitioning down to the SP, placed in the middle there and put a lot of focus on that. Then we've got the volume rocker keys. And then on the top of the device, we've got the 3.5mm headphone jack. Coming over to the back of the device, we've got a sort of soft touch back cover, and then we've got the 8-megapixel camera here. So that records in HD resolution. We've got an LED flash, the secondary microphone, got the Xperia logo on here, that's not embossed. That's printed on, and then we've got the loudspeaker as well. And as I suggested by the recess on the side here, you can actually pull this cover off, and under here you've got the internal sort of workings of the phone. The battery on this is actually fixed into the phone, so you can't replace it. You've got the micro SIM card slot in here, and then you've got the micro SD card slot here, and this will take cards up to 64 gig in capacity. So there's 8 gig of internal storage, so if you do want to expand the memory you can do so, because whilst it's 8 gig, not all of that will be user accessible because of the operating system. Okay, so let's have a look around the operating system on here. So it is Android 4.1 on the device out of the box. So at the lock screen we've got quick access to the music and the camera, and then we've got the home screens. Now I'm not going to give you a full tour of Android. There are plenty of devices now out there that are running Android, and you should have a good idea of what you get. But in a nutshell, you've got the customizable home screens, whereby we can press and hold on the screen, and we can add widgets, which are sort of interactive icons as identified by the weather icon there. We've got shortcuts to apps. We can change the wallpaper and the themes, which we will come back to in a moment. We can select which home screen we want to be our main home screen. So this is our main home screen at the moment, as identified by the little white icon of the home just up there. But then what we can do is we can tap the home icon on a different screen, and that will then become our home icon, or we can click the X to actually delete the screen altogether. So we've got a variety of shortcuts. We've got the notification bar at the top, where we can get to some of the key shortcuts such as the sound, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and then we've got full access into the settings here. So going through to the settings, I'm going to start with About Phone and show you that this is the C5303, and at the time of recording is running Android version 4.1.2. If I just come back out of here, we've got the sort of standard settings. Just going to quickly delve into language and input and show you some of the language options on here. There will be a separate video showing all of the languages, but I know that some people are particularly interested to see certain languages, and some of the most requested that we get over and above the sort of standard European languages are the likes of Hebrew and Arabic and Russian, and you can see that these languages are accommodated for on the Sony Xperia SP here, but there'll be another video on our YouTube channel to show you that. Then if we scroll through and go into storage, you'll actually see that the total space coming up here is 5.37 gigabytes. There's no SD card mounted at the moment, but you can insert a card in there as well. And then available, you've actually got 5 gig, because there's some content already installed on the phone, should I say. So there's 8 gig of memory, of which 5.37 is usable. Take into account then some more apps they install, and then you've got about 5 gig actually usable to yourself. Just quickly hop into the Xperia screen here. What we can see is we've got PlayStation certified, so you'll be able to play PlayStation games on this device. DualShock controller here. This is quite interesting. They're advertising that you can connect up a PlayStation controller, and of course that'll work in conjunction with the PlayStation certification. It says how to connect a controller, and it says about connecting up with a USB cable using a cable adapter sold separately. Sony haven't actually got an adapter that they use or sell, should I say, but we've used a USB host cable, and the Sony PlayStation controller worked just fine with this device. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for our connectivity demo on this phone. So use a USB host cable and you're away. You've also got some other options in here. So you've got My Xperia, where it allows you to locate your phone if you lose it. You've got screen mirroring, and that allows you to actually share the content of your phone with a large display if you don't want to use the MHL HDMI connectivity through the micro USB connection on the side here. You've got throw settings, and what that allows you to do is actually throw some of the content wirelessly through to other devices that you may have in your home or office. So for example here, it's picked up my Sonos system, so I could play music from my phone through the Sonos system through what they call as throwing it. USB connectivity options here as well. Quick look in power management. What they've brought to the Xperia SP is stamina mode, as was heavily advertised on the Sony Xperia Z, and a few options that you have within this, for switching on and off settings to maximize your battery life. Not going to go into too much depth now, because that's been covered a lot in other videos from Sony directly. You've got sound and display settings, as you'd imagine, but we've got an interesting feature here, glove mode, so you can actually wear gloves and use this device. Something we've seen advertised with the Samsung Galaxy S4, but it's also on the Xperia SP. Got mobile browser engine 2 to enhance images. Got the ability to change font size, light effects. Now, as we mentioned, it's got a light up bar here. This is reminiscent of the Sony Xperia U, so depending on different functions, you can have the bar light up and do different things, depending on what it is. So an unread SMS is currently coming up as white, but we can go through these colors here. Now, you either love or hate that feature. I actually quite like it. It's a small, subtle way of reminding you've got a message, but that's kind of up to you. And it can also have an influence with music and photos that you might have or be playing back on the phone. Then we've got all the sort of standard Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and you have got NFC on here, Android Beam. And a big thing to shout about in terms of connectivity over and above the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi is that this device is 4G enabled, so it will work on 4G networks around the world depending on the frequencies that you have. DLNA in here, of course, as well. Now, under the hood there is a dual core processor. It's a 1.7 gigahertz dual core processor, so that should be enough to sort of power you through most things that you could throw at it. So we've got sort of standard applications on here. Now, some of these won't be on here because this is a pre-production device, but what you can expect to see is the likes of Chrome, you've got the messaging, you've got phone, the Sony Walkman services, you've got the camera, which we'll come to in a moment. You've got Google Maps, Music Unlimited, Sony's wireless audio and video streaming service. You've got Sony Car, which is the safe way of using the Sony device in the car, so it's big, clear icons, allows you to navigate around the content that you would normally get to on your phone with big, clear, simple to use screens. You've got Smart Connect in here, which allows your phone to intelligently do certain things as and when you connect peripherals or certain things happen to your phone. So if you connect headphones, you can have the music player launch. Talking of headphones, we've got an FM radio built into the device. You've got Xperia Link for sharing the phone's internet connection with other devices. You've got navigation on here, and you've got a file manager. You've got the Sony Play Memories Online, so that's for backing up content to online services. Let's just quickly go into the web browser. I mean, this is fairly straightforward. Just lagging a little bit there. So we're at the Clove website here, so you've got the standard sort of pinch and zoom affair. You can rotate the device and navigate through web pages as you choose. So I can click into pages here, double tap. It's all fairly self-explanatory. We mentioned about the camera, so there's a dedicated camera button on the side here, so if you just press it for a second or so, you can load into the camera application. Now you've got all the sort of same functions that you've seen on the Sony Xperia Z if you have been following that at all. So they've brought the new technology, including HDR mode for video here. You've got their superior auto mode, which is designed to give you better shots using intelligent technology built into the phone, but you of course can choose the settings yourself, including sweep panorama, front camera, video camera. We could spend ages looking at all these different functions, but the reality is they're all designed to give you the best camera experience possible. You've got the ability to control the flash. You've got more settings such as quick launch, self timer, the resolution. So we can set this up to 7 megapixels in superior auto mode, but if we went into normal, we can go in and we can set it to 8 megapixels. We've got white balance settings, image stabilization, auto upload options, where it's actually stored. You can see we've got this HDR on or off, so that's for the camera. We've got the ability to flick to the front facing camera if we choose. You can see we've got two icons here. We've got the capture button for the camera. We can also record from the one screen, and then as we're recording we can take pictures at a resolution of 1 megapixel. So they're saving in the background, they're not making any sound or anything like that. I can stop the recording. I can then click up in here to the photos and videos that I have on the device. Now it looks like we've got a bit of a bug there in the software. Bear in mind this is pre-production, so yeah, it's for some reason struggling to play the video back, but I have to say we have played videos back on this times past, so it might be just the device needs restarting. But here are some of the pictures we've sort of been taking as we've been recording the video. So I will just touch on things like messaging, sort of fairly standard and straightforward. Got your keyboard, you can tap out, and of course with all the variety of languages on here, you can change the language that you're writing in as well. Now let's try and show you the coloured bar. So without sending a message to this phone, I can just go into themes, and you can see I've got a variety here, but what I'm going to do is just tap one and focus quite hard down on the illumination bar, and let's see if we can actually show this on camera here. Not sure how well that's actually coming up. Let's just turn the lights out and try this again. Okay, so we've turned the lights out in an effort to try and show you the illumination bar and what it can do. So if we tap and hold and go to change the theme, just going to scroll through and change it to Ruby. So happy with that, tap the screen, just see how the illumination bar now comes on, and that'll have an effect in different applications depending on your usage and your settings. Just to show you that again, let's go into the themes. Let's now choose Sapphire, go home, and now the bar illuminates blue. One more time, just to show you the variation of colours that you can get. So we can go to the amethyst theme, go home, and now we get a purple bar illuminating up on the phone. So that is a quick look at the Sony Xperia SP. For more information, be sure to check out www.clove.co.uk.